Good evening. So we've got the post all of the Nats news update finally starting to get some news now that we're on the other side of that. It's been a pretty busy couple of days, and we don't even have any ban or rat announcements yet. It sounds like either Jasco is not going to do anything, or they are biding their time on that, maybe testing some possible erratas, that sort of thing. But in the meantime, first and foremost, we had our EU and Oceanic Pro Hero Nationals this past weekend. Those were won by Nathan James and Zan Landragon, playing Ojiro 2 off of Earth and Tokoyami 1 off of Chaos. So 3 out of 4 events won by Tokoyami, the 4th one won by Ojiro in what is possibly a harbinger of a meta to come if Tokoyami gets hit hard enough. So yeah, congratulations to those two. Congratulations to everybody who qualified from those events. We're still waiting on deck lists. It sounds like Jasco wants to do the same thing that they did with the other deck lists and make these really cool graphics for them. But email tag, if you've ever been in a business or a situation where you have to email someone that's around on the other side of the globe, it usually makes everything take forever. And they're trying to get the deck lists from Oceania, and they either just got them or they haven't gotten them yet or whatever. So that's all delayed. But there will soon TM at some point on the Jasco Facebook page be some deck lists for these events. And I know the judges for the EU event have cobbled together those deck lists and posted them in the community group. So you'll stay tuned for all that from Jasco. And yeah, I believe the rest of the top cuts, I want to say there weren't too many shockers. Obviously, there was a Dobby in the top 8 EU top cuts because Brett Pendragon is there. And Oceania, Mineta 2 seems to be really... There was a lot of 5-handers in that top cuts. I don't really remember it all off the top of my head, but those should be some interesting lists when we get to see them. I heard something about 100 card Kirishima 2 in one of these. So yeah, keep an eye out for those when they come, hopefully soon, maybe tomorrow. Maybe they're up when you watch this, right? Yeah. Unfortunate news following up that. So the Jasco had no official coverage of these events for unknown reasons that they have not given us. And some of the individual content creators, stepped up wanting to cover the event themselves to either fill the gap or just because they wanted to or whatever their reasons were, right? The first one, the Oceania stream, covering the Oceania Swiss rounds, was on Tam Cardwell's channel, the Jasco Games content creator MVP poster boy. And the stream was not really a normal coverage stream. It was kind of a hangout drinking stream and not really representative of what people who maybe didn't know that or didn't know Tam's content or didn't really understand what it was going to be thought they were getting when they came in. There was some not very family friendly content on there. There is some trash talking, things like that. And apparently the blowback from this was bad enough that Jasco canceled all the other third-party streams, but they didn't even let the other duo have a crack at it. And they, a couple of days later, put out a notice that they felt like they had to revoke the MVP status from Tam and take away his invite to the Hero League Championship. It's hard, without being on the inside of Jasco to know the exact nature and the scale of the blowback, like how bad was it. So it's really hard to gauge, should they have done that, should they not have done that. You can imagine a scenario where, somebody at the, Japanese IP holder company caught wind of it and put a gun to their head, then it is what it is. It could have been they were overreacting to a really small blowback, who knows, right? So I don't want to get too much into, value judgments on this. Obviously, there's a dozen things Jasco should have done better here, including obviously covering the events. Equally obviously, Tam did not have to do the sort of more controversial stream. He could have done a more traditional stream and been more safe about it, but just kind of a bad situation all around. Nobody really wins here. Nobody's really happy. Tam obviously loses his invite and, the opportunity cash that went with that, and Jasco has a bunch of egg on their face. And Oceania's not happy because their event didn't get very much treatment. EU didn't get streamed at all. So yeah, just a really crappy situation, and I'm sure Jasco's going to be a lot more vigilant about this sort of thing in the future. On to brighter news. Sort of. So Jesco hasn't really formally confirmed any of this, but Asmodee is sending out emails again to stores because they have to sell the product, right? They have to give stores release dates and stuff, and they have announced some release dates for the upcoming set for League of Villains and associated products. So the League of Villains release date, as per Asmodee, is March 3rd. That means the pre-release will be the week before that. The DLC release, this is the chibi, we don't really know who the characters all are sort of thing DLC, is coming a month later on April 7th. And they further announced in this email that there's going to be a pre-release promo, Mr. Compress. So he is not in the set, he will not have support. He could have a random backpage card, I guess. We've already seen Compression Sphere from set 3. Mr. Compress himself is a pre-release promo, and he's up above. I'm not going to read him aloud here. You can probably check the video and read it. Hopefully the stream quality is good enough. It should be. But he's pretty cool. He plays stuff out of his momentum. He's reminiscent. If you played Universus, he's reminiscent of the old Hiei in a lot of ways. And that was a very popular character, so I expect we'll see a lot of people trying their hand at Mr. Compress. Also, bridging the gap from Set 4 to the Hero League Championship, they announced this morning that there's going to be some sort of a world premiere event at the HLC, and this is for people who are not invited. This is for anyone who wants to come and show up and sort of hang out. On the first day, it said the 27th, so I'm guessing this event is just happening on the Friday. They're going to be doing some sealed and limited events for Set 4, which also means whatever the preview schedule before that leading into that is, and hopefully there is one, hopefully they don't just dump this all at once. Once we hit that week, and the whole set's going to be known about, a month or so before release, so if people like to see the set before they decide to buy, they're going to get that. And it should mean that, given the amount of time it takes to preview as many cards that are in a full set, we might start seeing actual formal previews for the set pretty soon. Maybe in a couple weeks or something like that. But yeah, so if you were thinking about going just to hang out or whatever, there is going to be at least that event for you. I assume there will be something on Saturday and Sunday, at least one of those days. They haven't really announced any details for that yet. And tickets for this world premiere event go on sale on Saturday. There are going to be limited slots because I assume they're going to have they might have some limited amount of product like airdrop to them, or, Asmo's not going to ship them infinite product, right? So we'll see how many spots there are for people. Hopefully it's not just like 32. Hopefully it's 64, 128 or something like that, so that people don't feel like they have to make a snap decision right now about whether they're going or not. But we'll have to see how that pans out. The HLC itself, the tournament for the 32 invitees, is going to be Friday through Sunday, the 27th through the 29th. There were statements of the Discord saying that the players will be busy that whole time. Not sure if that's matches or if they're going to do some sort of like interview day or something like that. But it is going to be at the Alexis Park Hotel in Vegas. This is where the Las Vegas Regional was. Pretty good place. I'm certainly happy to go back there. It's like the one hotel in Vegas that doesn't have a casino, which is a bit weird, but there's a casino across the street for people who want to do that. Plenty of walkable food. Cool chicken place I went to a couple times. So yeah, it'll be cool to go back there and hang out at Alexis Park with the other invitees and anybody else who comes to attend. And so that's all we have for this week so far. We may get more stuff tomorrow, we may not. It's possible that the next piece of news we get is probably either going to be more details on other events for non-invitees at the HLC, or the other thing we're certainly waiting on, any sort of bans or erratas they're going to do, or maybe at least the state of the game saying that they're not doing that. We are waiting on maybe some formal confirmation about Set 4 dates and stuff, considering that Asmo's beating them to the punch on that again. Just at some point stop getting surprised by Asmodee on these. So we could see any of that sort of stuff soon. We're definitely going to get those EU and Oceania deck lists. I'm going to have links in the description to the 2 relevant Facebook posts from Jesco about the MVP situation and the Oceania stream, and then the other one announcing the world premiere event. As for the Iron Chef contest, entries for that are closed. I have gathered all the deck lists. I've sent them to the other judge. We're going to review them before we do a recording, just so that we're not doing too much hemming and hawing about our scores while we're recording this. And then we'll get together, do a recording, we'll go through the list, talk about what you like and don't like about them, and pick a winner. So that should be cool. We'll probably record that over the weekend, so that should be the next video you get from me, assuming that tomorrow's not super hyper crazy news-wise. So yeah, I'll see you in that, and see you in the next video if you skip that out. Alright, take care, good night.